And good morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5-Minute Morning Miner on Monday, March the 9th. We've got Ollie O'Donnell here and myself. Morning, Ollie.
Good morning, Andrew. How you doing?
Not bad. I mean, most of the news at the moment today is obviously about Iran and the oil price, which has gone shooting up and actually drifted back down again from its highs. But oil is the main focus. There is a little bit of news out there in the mining space, but it's pretty quiet. Markets obviously are taking a little bit of a hammering. Actually, surprised they're not taking a bit more of a hammering personally, but it's a very uncertain world out there at the moment. Anyway, we will see. Right, where should we start, Ollie? Why don't we start on Pulsar? Helium is a client of ours, and they had a bit of news.
Well, actually, the sort of market news related to them is probably more interesting than today's update. They'd announced a while back that they were buying quantum hydrogen from Oscillate PLC, which is now Serval Resources, going in a completely different direction into copper in the Kalahari copper belt. They've now moved up to 80% ownership with the final tranche of shares that have been issued. So that's all progressing as expected. But more importantly, because of what's happening in Iran, Qatar last week announced that it had stopped all production of LNG. Qatar produces about 20% of the world's LNG, and as a byproduct of that is helium, which they produce about 35% of the world's helium. So the second largest producer after the US, and the whole helium narrative has been about how supply has become too concentrated in too fewer places, and this is exactly why helium prices are shooting up as a result of this. And it will take a while to get LNG production back online. It's not something you can just switch off and switch on overnight.
Yeah, I mean, by the time Pulsar Helium really get into production, hopefully the Iran war will be over, but you never know. But clearly it's the right sentiment, as you say. It's all there's too few people actually producing helium. Okay, and I think PanAfrican had some news today as well.
Yep, they are acquiring 100% of Emmerson Resources on the ASX for 311 million Aussie, which is about 163 million pounds. That's an all-share deal, which is recommended by the board. PanAfrican will retain the ASX listing. This is something that's been sort of building up steadily. They announced in 2024 an agreement to enter the Northern Territories where Emmerson are based, and they also announced JV for Emmerson's near production assets. So this consolidates all of that. If you look at the Emmerson presentation, they were expecting a minimum Australian dollar 18 million production payment, and that was based on a $5,000 Australian gold price. So basically PanAfrican is buying out those payments, consolidating their interest, and securing their position in Australia, diversifying away from South Africa.
Yeah, it all makes sort of sense, really, doesn't it? Not to be confused with Emmerson PLC, which of course is the Moroccan potash group that has an arbitration case at the moment.
Although, interestingly, Mark Connolly, who's the chair of Emmerson Resources, used to be on the board of Emmerson PLC, so there may be some historic link between the companies.
We don't want to confuse people. They are different companies, all right? Don't get excited. All right, I think that's about it today. Just as a few out of interest, coal stocks having a bit of a run this morning. Coal could be back in favour as oil obviously is getting disrupted. So just bear that in mind, all those that think they should never invest in coal. It's actually looking quite attractive at the moment. But anyway, there's an aside. Very good. We're back tomorrow.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.